So, who would like to start?
I guess I can start. Thanks. What is up, fellow nerds, and welcome to Not Your Status Quo. Today, we're going to break down the new Falcon and the Winter Soldier trailer that debuted during the Super Bowl last night. Yay, sports ball. Let's jump right in.
Is he wearing a parachute? No.
So it starts, looks almost like a police interrogation room, where we got that clip, where she's like, so who would like to start? And then she asks Mr. Barnes, Bucky, to you and I, why does Sam aggravate you? And then we see a scene from the Disney Investment Day with Sam jumping out of the plane without a plan. And we do find out later, he says, hey, I do have a plan. How much? 11%? We don't know, but he says he's got a plan.
What percentage?
I don't know, 12%.
12%?
I really love this, and I think it kind of ties into their actual characterizations. And it kind of reminds me the way that Steve Rogers acted. He was still very much like, kind of a World War II vet grandpa kind of guy, even though he looked like he was in his late 20s, early 30s. And I have a feeling, I hope anyway, that that's how Bucky is going to be as well. That I hope he's going to kind of have that sort of characterization where he's going to expect to do things a certain way. And, I don't like when these kids change it.
Next, we see what I believe to be Madapor, and he hears Zemo saying superheroes cannot be allowed to exist. And then you see him walking with Sam and Bucky. So he's obviously working with them at some point. Is this against whatever sort of super soldier program is being initiated by Thunderbolt Ross that's going to bring us John Walker as Captain America / US agent? I mean, I think it's very likely. I think whatever Thunderbolt Ross is doing with this obviously wants to be stopped by Sam and Bucky, for one, maybe besmirching the name of their best friend, Steve Rogers, and Zemo just wanting to stop all superheroes, and really his arch rival in the comics being Captain America.
So is Zemo still in custody while he's working with them? Does he get out somehow? He says there should be no superhumans. By doing that, is he creating a society of supervillains just by a different name?
Kind of sounds sort of like he wants to make his own Suicide Squad.
We then hear Zemo saying,
I have no intention to leave my work unfinished.
which, can I get a hell yeah for that? That's
Hell
awesome.
yeah!
So many villains have been killed in these movies not to come back, and we need Zemo to continue being a thorn in the side of the Avengers and every supervillain. And the best part is, we see him walking with his comic accurate mask. And is this something that Dave is right? He was released to kind of help fight this, or did he escape after the blip? Because we saw when Monica Rambeau came back, it was chaos in that hospital. It could have been chaos in the prison that he is being held in, and that's how he actually escapes. Speaking of masks, we then see Aaron Kellyman with a Flag Smasher mask on, or World Party. I've heard different things. Flag Smasher is basically this guy who thinks there should be no borders, and he hates every country, saying basically it's its own sovereignty. It should be one world and everybody together. But the more I see, Aaron Kellyman, who has not been announced who she's playing, I think she's playing Cynthia Sin Schmidt, the daughter of the Red Skull. And I can't get past it. If she's not playing her, they've done a really good job of with the red hair and everything leading me down that path. But if she is, remember, you heard it here first, Aaron Kellyman is playing Sin, the Red Skull's daughter.
Well, Keith, it's because we gotta fight the globalists. It's those flag smashers. They're the real threat. And, you gotta buy my pills to stop them.
Thanks, Alex, for joining our video. We appreciate the guest starring role right there. We'll send you your feet. Next, we see Sam throwing the shield, and it kind of hits the tree, but then we see Bucky catching it. When I saw this, I was thinking, okay, are they going to be, even though Steve Rogers gave the shield to Sam, are they almost going to be competing for who is going to be the next Captain America? Because both Bucky and Sam have been Captain America in the comics. So it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. We have John Walker, who the government probably wants to have the shield. And then we have Sam, who probably wants the shield, because one of the things we learned early on is that Isaiah Bradley might be in this, who was the first Captain America kind of came about in the Super Soldier program before Steve Rogers. And maybe he feels that history has kind of pushed him under the rug. So Sam wants to take the mantle to kind of bring that back into light and let history be known of what actually happened.
Is that shield, is it kind of like Mjolnir to Thor? Does the bearer of that shield, that exact shield, become Captain America? Or do they have multiple shields?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Then we hear Sam saying, "Where do we start?" Sounds like he's accepting a mission from somebody. And could this be whoever is teaming him up with Zemo to kind of get to the bottom of the new Super Soldier program that Thunderbolt Ross might be running? For the longest time, and I think we even theorized in our Thunderbolts Theory Palooza, that Zemo is going to put this team together. But what if he doesn't? What if it is actually Thunderbolt Ross who is getting all of this together to kind of fill the void now that the Avengers are gone? And actually Zemo, Sam, and Bucky are working with this outside entity who we don't know who it is yet to kind of stop all of this. Then we get a wonderful shot of Emily Van Camp's Sharon Carter, where she's saying, "Here we go again," sounding like, "Oh, here we go, boys. You know, the world is at risk and we're all together again. Zemo's somehow at the bottom of it." And, you know, we get to see her kicking some actually major butt. And we do know from the merch that is being sold for Falcon and the Winter Soldier that she is wanted after the events of Civil War for her breaking the Sokovia Accords. So who is actually after her? Is it Thunderbolt Ross? Is it the CIA? Is it SWORD? You know, I guess we'll find out, but she's definitely taking care of business here. It's good to see it.
Yeah, that's one comment here is that Emily Van Camp as Sharon is back as Sharon Carter. I think she did a great job in the movie. I can't wait to see her in this series. I did not know until just now that she was in the
Say what?
Another question that could be asked is, what governmental organization does Sharon Carter work for? Is there a new SHIELD that we're going to be introduced to, or is she a member of SWORD?
Then we see John Walker at the Sports Ball event. Once again, we also saw this, you know, in the last year's Super Bowl teaser. And I think we really need to do an in-focus on John Walker, Captain America, U.S. agent, before March 19th. So be on the lookout for that. But I also are wondering if we're going to see Battlestar in this season of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Basically, Battlestar was Bucky to John Walker's Captain America. He did go by Bucky for a bit, which would probably be weird doing it in the MCU. But then he went by Battlestar, and they were working together to fight crime and do the right wrongs. And it'd be interesting to see if we do see him in this season.
And don't forget murder people, Keith. That's right, U.S. agent murders people.
That is right, Doug, and that is why he does lose the mantle of Captain America in the comics. So it'll be interesting to see if that plays out in this season. Next, we see another fight scene with Bucky, with Sam, and Zemo standing behind him. So they are going to be working together. It seems like a little bit in this thing. But what we want to bring up here is these Skrull masks behind them. Is this some sort of fight club where the loser gets killed and they kind of behead them? Or is someone in that club actually actively out hunting Skrulls? And who could that be? Maybe Omega Red? Maybe another, I don't know, Logan, Patch? Someone who's, you know, pretty invested in Madripoor? I don't know. What do you guys think?
If that's happening, I think they need to leave those poor Skrulls alone.
Very Skrully of you once again, Doug. But let's move on. We didn't see Sam with the shield, and we see him throwing it in a major explosion. When we see Zemo, it looks like he's kind of leading people there, and it's not Sam and Bucky, so he may have moved on, be working with other people, Thunderbolts. And then we see the fight scene on the 18-wheelers. We see Bucky and Sam on different ones kind of being held down. We see Erin Kellyman's character kind of there, and then we see her kicking Bucky's butt a little bit. And I honestly think if we're right about who this is, being Sin, the Red Skull's daughter, she's going to be kicking a lot more butts than just Bucky. But then we get that nice little line of, you know, he's hanging down under there, and Falcon's like, "So, little girl kick your butt?" Which I think was great.
Keith, you can't do that to me, man. First, I had to deal with the fact that somebody Palpatine, and now you're trying to tell me that Red Skull does too?
Okay, the line is, say what?
And this trailer ends with a staring contest between the two adults in the room, Sam and Bucky. Now, who do you guys think won?
I think Bucky's got it. I mean, he's been around forever. He's 100 and how many years old? They asked that question on the show. So he's going to have the more steady hand.
Obviously, if there was a scroll in the room, they would have won. But I guess I'd have to agree with Dave. It's got to be Bucky.
I definitely agree with you guys. Bucky definitely won. You see when she snaps her fingers that Sam looks at her and Bucky is still eyes on the prize. He's definitely in it to win it. But that's what we think. That's what we saw in this trailer. Did we miss anything? Let us know down in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time at Not Your Status Quo.